Good morning, I'm Catherine and welcome to my hillside garden. Today we're going to work on planting the corn. Remember, we use the root trainers and I have 6 rows of corn in there, each planted about 10 to 14 days apart. We'll also put in 2 rows of seed, so that way we'll have hopefully at least 4 successions of corn this summer, if the rabbits don't eat it. We have 4 little baby bunnies in the yard, and I've had to keep track of everything because I've noticed little nibbles here and there. Since it is a new bed, I am going to be supplementing it with some fertilizers. I'll be putting in bone meal, blood meal, some dehydrated chicken manure, some pelleted dolomite lime, and a 10-10-10 into the ground. I'll mix that in really well before I plant the corn. So come along and join me. Okay, we're up in the upper bed and I am going to supplement the ground. I've made up little packages. Each package has about 1/4 of a cup of bone meal, 1/4 of a cup of blood meal, 1/4 of a cup of dolomite lime, 1/4 of a cup of dehydrated chicken manure, and 1/4 of a cup of 10-10-10 fertilizer. And since this little plot is approximately 4x4 square, I have one snack bag full for each quarter that I'm gonna break in. Now, I have previously supplemented this with mushroom compost and compost from my leaf compost bin. Also some of the free compost from our local composting site. And now it'll have this extra. I don't normally like to step on the soil, but when planting, sometimes you can't help it. So I like to have little boards handy around the garden. So that way I can spread out the weight of my body. And this mixed in well. Okay, corn is a very heavy feeder, so that was the reason for supplementing this area so well. And what we're going to do is we're going to plant the plants approximately 8 inches apart, and the rows will be approximately 12 inches apart. You want them to be in a block because corn is wind pollinated. So you need to be sure that their tassels will reach each other when it comes time for pollination. Well, maybe it's not quite 4 feet wide, but we're going to try our best and see how it goes. Okay, so we're going to open up our first book, and remember these were the root trainers, so we're just going to, and they do open just like a book. I'm going to open them apart. Some will come one way, some, there we go. Look at the nice root system that's on these corn plants. So, and that's the nice part, you don't have to disturb them very much when you go to plant them. So that's the whole corn plant. Okay. See, the roots have even begun to come out the bottom. And this is Country Gentleman corn. We do have our marker. So, open this up. And remember, I did plant 2 seeds per cell. And I think I'm going to leave them. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but that's the way they are. That's the way they're going to go in. Put in another row here. Okay, let's see about getting those planted in before I do the rest. Let's turn the camera a little bit. And we'll see how we make it. And since there's really no walking on this ground, I can just shove this nice trowel in and push the corn in nice and firm. We've had a good head start. For now, so I don't know anything I get this last one. In there. Go. Alright, let's get this row. And I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay? Okay. So it looks like I did miscalculate, but I did get the 2 first rows of the corn that was planted 6 weeks ago, which are these 2 here. And then these two are the rows from 4 weeks ago. So I'm going to see if later maybe I can get a row back in there. I really think, sorry for the lawnmower, I think what I may end up doing is I have to supplement this little plot where I was going to put the greasy beans. And maybe what I'll do is kind of like a 2 or 3 sisters with the other 2 rows of the corn that's only 2 weeks planted. So, but I have to get ready for work. So that's for another video, maybe later today or tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something today, and happy gardening.